building. That's why we're here today. We didn't want to rut the area up. Thanks, Steve, for setting that up. Steve? A few announcements. Those of you that knew Jack Chapman, he was a long-time Whoppy guy. He passed away last week. Most recently, he was very active with Willow Creek Railroad. Had a locomotive down there. Very active also in Union Gap, Washington, where his son lives. He's got a couple of tractors and threshing machine. I believe he's 92-ish, somewhere in there. Really great guy. He was a caretaker for the grounds, in the 80s, early 80s, somewhere in there. I haven't heard any information on memorial services at this time. I believe there will be, but haven't heard anything yet. Charlie Philpott had a stroke. Can you give us any information?
2 or 3 weeks ago, Charlie had a stroke, a fairly major one. And he's still recovering, and hopefully he will recover, but I am not sure. His left side is pretty well paralyzed. So I don't know a lot of details other than that.
And you were talking to me about the
yes.
farmhouse.
Sure. The farmhouse, there's 2 rooms on the south end of it that they're working on turning into a kitchen and a parlor to have open during the steam up. From the turn of the century when the house was built, those rooms were not part of the caretaker's residence. And Charlie was in the middle of staining the fir floor that they had put down. And so they're looking for somebody who would like to tackle that project of finish staining that floor. So if anybody has any interest in doing that, let me know and I can hook you up with whoever. But it'd be nice if we could get that so they could keep working on the rest of the display.
Okay. All right. And then Ron Stoner, right there. Right. Ron wanted to talk about the ag shows going on.
Well, as most people know, we just finished the Portland Ag Show Thursday, and they did a flop of the whole interior of Hall C this year from one end to the other. And I would say Branch 15 had probably 2.5 to 3 times the area they normally did, and it was filled up. You guys did a wonderful job. And so I have no idea what's going to happen next year. I saw a lot of empty spaces in the other halls, so it's not looking real good. And the second thing is the end of February, there's a Mid-Valley Ag Fest down at Rick Rial. And I just got an email from Sam Stewart before he left for Texas, and he said that apparently Branch 15 has signed up for a booth or a table or something down there, and that show is 27th and 28th, so I don't know if that would have anything to do with Saturday class or not.
What's the date again?
27th and 28th of
Yeah,
February.
Saturday would be the Saturday.
So
class.
I don't know if instead of Saturday class, if wanting to make a field trip down to that show or what. So
Isn't that the same day as the Ag Show in Rick Rial?
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, we can.
And our space there will be in a big tent outside, shared with Lennon Implement, I believe.
Who is Lennon Implement? Never heard of
John
him.
Deere dealer.
Used to be
Used to be.
years ago.
Then it was Fisher, and now it's Pape. So you're behind a little bit there.
But I think
Well, that's what it was printed at.
Really?
I understand that, but I don't think that's right.
No.
And
I doubt a bit.
and I think So I don't know who's going to be in that tent, but they're also supposed to have buildings there that people will be in. So I have no idea. So anyway, if anyone has any questions, they can contact Sam when he gets back from Texas, say like February 5th. From then on, he should be home. Okay.
Okay. And what month is this one? Rick Rial is
February.
February.
Months from now.
Okay.
Month from now, yeah.
Okay.
27th and 28th.
Got it.
Okay.
Thanks, Ron.
All right.
Did you have anything, Steve, to add to that?
No, I mean, I know
Saw
that
you
they're-
kinda-
yeah, I know that I've heard talk about it at the site committee meeting, but don't know a lot of details. I think the John Deere folks are going to have some tractors there, and I could certainly take something over, but I don't know a lot of details, so I figured I'll talk to Sam when we get closer.
So
If
is
anybody has any interest, let me know.
Well, bring it
Or
up
say-
at the meeting next Saturday.
Oh, yes, yeah, we'll talk, because Sam will be back by,
Okay.
yeah.
So is this, I heard tent or something. Are we on black or concrete?
I
or
believe it's
blacktop,
going to
or-
be on blacktop, and there'll be a big tent set up.
All right, so I'll skip around. Well, no, I won't. We had talked or we discussed about the February class doing like bring your troubled engines and or problem engines and do troubleshooting. We're going to do that here, but with that news,
I don't think that's going to be that big a thing over there.
well, what would we want to do as a class? I guess is what I'm asking. What do you guys want to do? Would you rather do a troubleshooting here, or would you rather do a field trip to Rick Rial?
Take them all over there and work on them.
Well, we could.
Yeah.
George,
Actually, speaking of field trip,
I've got your name down to speak, so
Really?
yeah, go ahead. Tell us about Bend.
Yeah, the engine club over in Bend on the 27th is having their meeting at Bauer Electric in Bend. Bauer Electric is the one that makes the old fabric covered wiring. In fact, they're the ones that supply the wire for Lee Pedersen now. And actually, Les probably knows more about Bauer than.
I've been to that factory, and what he's done is gone and bought every one of these weaving machines that he can in the United States and elsewhere. He's got a row of like a dozen of those set up with people sitting there. And if you've got a 49 Ford and you want a new wire harness, he's got it on the shelf already. I walked in there and I was kind of dumbfounded. And I said, well, how about a 57 Ford 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup? And he said, you're right there. That'll be $500. Original stripes, original colors. Sometimes even have the plastic fuse box on it. And it don't matter if you buy it out of Hemmings or from Carpenter. If it's a remade wire harness, it comes from Bend, Oregon. Now, he doesn't like particularly the individual walk in there and ask. It's kind of a wholesale operation. He's got a setup that he put together to varnish these wires or shellac them or lacquer them or whatever. And it's this big, long, elaborate thing. And he runs them through this machine and sprays them, and they go out through the plant and back over to dry. So it's well worth the visit if you can possibly go. And I realize that takes away from us here, but it's a neat place.
Who would be the contact if anybody would want to go?
Tom Street would be a good person to contact.
Okay.
Yeah, and he said they could park there. If a lot of people showed up, they would go over there and relay, so he wasn't hit with
Okay.
40 people. at
So
once.
if there's people that are interested, come see Les, George, myself. We can get you the additional information of where they're meeting.
If no one, if say I couldn't go that time, do they have tours any other time of the year or during the week or anything or what?
Don't know that.
No idea.
Okay.
If it was a Sunday afternoon, you had a 6-pack of beer, I'm sure he'd take you through.
But my understanding on it is that they are going to demonstrate, some of that stuff. It's also a big, indoor building, and people are invited to bring engines if you want. They're also providing lunch. So, I'm going.
Maybe carpool if some of you guys can get organized. I will stay here. I've been through it once, and I'll open the building for whoever may be here for a class.
Do we have a consensus what we're doing? It sounds like we're scattering all over.
When is that last?
Yeah.
That's the 27th. It's the same. It's the end of this month. Or end of February. Excuse me.
4 weeks from today.
Yeah, so you basically have 3 different choices that you can
Right.
do that day.
Right.
Did we decide Rick Rail or not?
No, we didn't. Everybody's being really quiet.
Why don't we talk it over and we'll announce it at the next meeting next Saturday.
Okay, so that's the next thing. Next Saturday is a Branch 15 meeting. It'll be at Gutowski's house. If you have not been there, it's a pretty incredible place that he has. So that'll be next Saturday. Sounds like we'll do some poking around and make a decision what we're going to do for Saturday class. And I do not have anything else. Anybody have a topic to bring up? Yeah.
I brought some copies of the rust removal by electrolysis,
Oh,
and they're free, so if anybody needs copies, I got them over here.
okay.
The other thing is the February class and the March class, I probably won't have the scrap trailer here because I'm going to try and rebuild it, and that'll give me approximately 2 months because it's real hard to rebuild it when you're using it. So I will still have the pickup for small stuff, but if it's a trailer load, it'll have to hold off until probably either April.
Okay. Anyone else?
There's swap meet flyers here on the desk. Anybody wants any?
All right. Meeting adjourned.
So be it.
All right, have fun. Thanks, guys.
One on 7th and Pearl, or the old one over on Line.
Right, and then break it, and we'll make it thick and long, but not triangular as much.
You're right there.
Well, have we seen everything that we wanted to see?
I'll do it. That's okay though. That's okay.
Yeah. So I brought I'm freeing everything up. The little arm that trips the igniter. And when I was spinning it yesterday, it seemed to be working okay. Although once in a while the igniter will kind of get a little bit stuck. But the more I moved it, the more it worked the way I was supposed to. Right. Mark.
Yes, sir. I don't have
Yeah, but I didn't know anybody about it.
Wait till it gets home.
Yeah, good stuff though.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Salt Lake was froze over.
Live PTO.
I hadn't seen it in years.
Well, Oliver was pretty forward thinking about live PTO.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so wonderful when you're combining or baling, you can clear your load without having to reshift, you know. Yeah. International didn't even have a point like that.
Ain't got a name on it.
They wonder why they went out of business, you know. So,
Back here.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay.
Does it have 3 phases?
It's all rubber, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's actually set up, I think, for take that
I
back.
got it in the warehouse. Maybe that hard tack.
What the guy did was just
Okay, now you get to see the progress that they made on the car museum. So, last time when I was here, it was just all the framing was there, but now they got all the walls up, and they just gotta do what they're gonna do in the front here. I don't know what they're gonna do, but so that's that. And it kinda, they were showing you side by side with still pictures that the front of this building kinda looks like the Caterpillar Museum. You see, they're very similar fronts. So it was kinda weird when I was looking at the pictures. I was like, wait a minute, am I looking at car museum pictures, or am I looking at, and then it's like, oh yeah, you're looking at car pictures. They were just showing you the difference. But they're moving along. I don't know if they're gonna, well, the first floor will probably be completed, but the second floor probably won't be completed by steam up. But anyways, yeah, if you want to see all their pictures, go on their website. It's nwcarandcycle.com, I think. Yeah. Alright, well, that is that. It's looking pretty good. So, the initial building that they had was, behind that is their first building, and that was 6,000 square feet, like I've said. And this add-on that they just built this year is another 6,000 square feet. So that gives them a total of 12,000 square feet. And there's going to be an upstairs and a downstairs. And right in front of the building there is the brick pavers, which you can purchase. If you want more information about that, you got to go to the website, nwcarandcycle.com. I got some additional information that I didn't get to last time. So there's a couple of ways to be involved with the Branch 15 of the Early Day Gas Engine Tractor Association. A couple ways to donate. You can be a member. There's a couple levels of membership. We'll get into that a little bit later. But and you get 6 issues of the newsletter. So that's because they do it only every other month. So you'd get one for January, February, and then you get one for March, April, so on and so forth. And that's included in the active and the associate and the dual member, I think. So they have a program where you buy a blade and they'll laser engrave it customly, however you want. The really great fundraiser that they have is if you're a member at Fred Meyer and you have a Fred Meyer card, the Fred Meyer has community rewards, and they give money to a designated nonprofit that is on their list, and Branch 15 happens to be one of them. So it's really easy to set it up online. You just go into your account and tell them, look for the Branch 15 or look for their nonprofit number, which is 91902. And it's really easy to do over the phone, too. You just tell them, I want to hook it up, my Fred Meyer Rewards card, to Branch 15, or you give them that number again, and it's a really good program. So the couple of the other fundraisers that they have going on all year is a scrap metal drive. So you can bring your scrap metal, and the only thing with that is, like, if you have a large item, they ask that you call ahead of time, but small appliances and any other odds and ends that you're not using, they can take that. And the other fundraiser that they have is every year they raffle off an engine and they raffle off a quilt. This year, the engine is a 2-horsepower Sparta Economy 1910 on a cart, and it runs. But they start selling the tickets every year for those raffles at the Northwest Ag Show, and then they sell them until the last weekend of Steam Up, which is the second weekend, or the first weekend of August is the last weekend of Steam Up. So the other thing I wanted to mention really quickly is they have a few events coming up. There's so April 15th through the 17th is the Tulare, California Antique Farm Equipment Show. The featured tractor for 2016 show will be Caltrac. And then April 22nd to the 24th, there's a show in Red Bluff, California. It's the Early Day Gas Engine Tractor Association Branch 114 Spring Gas Up. And then June 3rd through the 5th, there's a show in Pendleton, Oregon. It's the 13th Annual Heritage Station Museum Old Iron Show. So I'll have the phone numbers and stuff up there. And if you want more information about these events, you can go to their website, which is www.branch15edgeta.org. So they're on Facebook and YouTube. That's all I had to say about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this class. And I'm going to try and be at the class this month. I don't know about next month, but anyways, yeah. I wanted to talk about the Northwest Vintage Car and Motorcycle Museum. It didn't cross my mind that they also had a website, and they are also on Facebook. So to find them on Facebook, you go to Northwest Vintage Car and Motorcycle Museum. Just type that into your search bar. And then their website is www.nwcarandcycle.com. So they have a few, so with their add-on that they're doing to their museum, they're going to have a total of 12,000 square feet. Right now they have 6,000 square feet, and their addition is going to be an additional 6,000 square feet, so that gets your total of 12,000 square feet. And they're going to have a downstairs and an upstairs, and the initially plan was that every month or every quarter they would have rotating exhibits. Well, some of the members passed away and, bequeathed, cars and motorcycles, and so they want to have an additional show space for the stuff that they have acquired and still be able to have rotating exhibits. And in the upstairs, they're going to have offices and a meeting room and restrooms and maybe a place that they'll sell their hats and t-shirts, what have you. So they have a few fundraisers that are ongoing. You can join, be a member of the club and museum. We'll get into that a little bit later. They also have a scrap metal drive, which is always going on. The contact for that is Doug Nielsen, 503-399-0647. And then they also have, you can buy, out in front of their building, they have these beautiful brick paver stones. And you can buy these stones, and they will custom engrave them for you. And with the purchase of one of those stones comes a year's membership in the club. So the other thing that they got going on is they do a Ford Speedster program for underprivileged or struggling youth. They go into the schools, and whether it's because they don't have a father or drugs or they're just bad grades, they find these kids and they teach them how to build a Ford Speedster. At the end of the program, they have a working car. So it's a really cool program. So I'll mention really quickly that they're open June through October, weather permitting, and whenever there's an event at Antique Powerland, they try and have someone there. They try and have a car show going on too. But their big event is All Comers Rendezvous, and that is June 25th, 2016. So if you want more information about that, you can go to their website or their Facebook. Thank you guys for watching CCTV, and I hope you have a good day.